we decided to offer this class because we really want to invest in the employees. Welcome. And employees for us every month is our biggest asset and our biggest expense. And so I'm really excited that we can take our core value of learn more about what the company offers you, and then learn more about where we want to be for the future as individuals. So we're really excited that you're willing to learn, and we know you'll start to grasp some of it. Hopefully every year we can do a couple of these events and keep learning and growing. I was looking at going through our finances, and there were things even that shocked me. Things that, we get our paychecks, and Lalena will go a little bit into it, but we get our paychecks and we wonder, where's all the money gone? Where's, what's going to taxes? So we're hoping to explain a little bit of that. With employees being our biggest investment, the company pays out $1,250 an hour for all of us. So, which equates to $10,000 a day. So last week, when we all enjoyed Memorial holiday, the company paid out $10,000 for that one day. So you can see the type of investment that we have in you and the company. And so we're excited that you're willing to come and learn more about it. I'll turn the time over to Lalena, and then we'll go to Rob, and then we'll have questions at the end.
Like Shelly said, it's very easy to kind of look at, well, I'm just going to start with this. At the beginning of our hire, we're told we're going to be paid a certain amount every hour, every week. And so let's say, you start working here, you're told that you're going to get paid $10 an hour. At the end of a pay period, you've worked about 80 hours. That's what a standard work week is. So when you get paid in your bank account, you should see 10 times 80 is 800, right? So you should see $800 in your bank, right?
No.
Oh, really? So that's what I want to talk about. Is we work. It's so easy to look at that and say, oh, I'm working so hard and putting all this, and it looks like that's all we're getting. And I kind of want to talk about the backside of that, where all that money is going from, as well as some additional costs the company incurs for every employee that comes in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the legally required portions that we as a company are legally required to take out of your paycheck. And then I'll talk about the voluntary ones, the ones that you authorize us to talk about. So the first ones that we have, there are 4 that we are legally required to take out of your paycheck. The first 2 that I'll talk about are what's called FIT. So what these are, this is how it shows up on our checks. When you get paid at other companies, they might show up differently, but on our check, so just so you understand ours, there's the FIT, F-I-T, the Utah SIT, there's the FICA SS, and the FICA Med. So the FIT stands for Federal Income Tax, and the Utah SIT stands for Utah State Income Tax. Those are based on the information that you give us off of the W-4. The W-4 is that form that you fill out when you're first hired. You can change it over time. Every year I like to make sure everybody's aware of it and if they need to make any changes based on their circumstances. But you'll put on there if you're single, you're married, how many kids you have. At the end of last year, a new tax law kind of passed that changes that a little bit but for right now it still works. They've still got it. So based on that and how much you earn, it could be variable across the board. That is how much by law we are required to take out. Thankfully, I don't have to figure that out because it's like, if this, then that, and this, and that, and that, and that, and this, and that, and that, and this, and this. That's all the different things that could be on that, and our account will do that. We'll take care of that for us because it's very confusing. But it does vary, and one thing I forgot to tell the last group is that depending on, for example, if you're single with no kids, you're going to pay a lot more than somebody that is married and has maybe 10 kids. It's possible that you'll have 0 coming out depending on what your situation is. But the FICA taxes are are just a little bit different. Let's talk about what they are before I talk about how we figure that out. So does anybody know what FICA stands for? It stands for the Federal Insurance Contributions Act. And it is money that is taken out of a worker's paycheck to pay older Americans their Social Security, retirement, and their Medicare benefits. And what that is that you have money taken out now to pay for the people that are on Medicare, that are on Social Security now. And so this money that's coming out isn't going towards your retirement, it's going towards their retirement. And then the next generation will pay for us. That's kind of how that works. Exactly.
They don't even work, they live in tiny houses. Eat off the land.
Okay, so for everybody that works, legally required, there is 15.3% of your earnings owed across the board. That's just how it is. 12.4% is for Social Security, 2.9% is for Medicare. Now, if you work for yourself, you will pay this whole amount yourself. But if you work for an employer, you only pay half of that. You pay a total of 7.65%, which is 6.2 Social Security and 1.45 Medicare. The employer pays the second half. So when we say we're getting paid $10 an hour, the employer is actually paying the additional 7.65% on top of that for us. And that is one maybe benefit or one thing to think about when you're working for somebody else, is that they are actually paying for part of your FICA taxes. If you work for yourself, you would pay for all of it. Now, I don't tell you this to say, hey, don't work for yourself. It's basically, we believe that the more informed you are, the better you are to, able to understand what's happening with your paycheck. So the cool thing about FICA taxes is that you can see on your paycheck how much the company is paying for you for this. There are 3 other taxes that the employer is required to pay by law that's above what you get paid by hour, but you don't get to see what that is on your paycheck. It's just done separately. So one of them is state unemployment insurance. The other one is federal unemployment insurance, and the other is workers' compensation insurance. So state unemployment insurance, that is if you were to get laid off and you apply for unemployment, the money for that comes out of this account, the state unemployment insurance. The federal unemployment insurance is for the administrative costs of this. So in each state, you've got a state unemployment bureau, I guess, and the cost to pay for those people, to pay for the buildings that there's, the printers, the paper, everything associated with that comes out of the federal unemployment insurance. So the employers are actually covering the costs for both of those. And then workers' compensation, that is in case somebody is injured. The company is required by law to have workers' compensation insurance on all of us. And that the rates on that are based on the risk associated with your position. So somebody that works in the office has a much lower risk of getting injury than, say, somebody that works in the shop or is on a ladder installed. They will pay a lot more for them. As well as the amount of claims that come out, then that will adjust just the rate as well. If we get a lot of claims, then we are a high-risk company, so that means the rates go up on what we'll be producing. The same thing is for the state unemployment. The more people that leave our company that go on to unemployment, the higher our rate that we're put because we're a high-risk company for that. That is how all of that works out. So these are the taxes that are required by law, and you know, several of these are paid in addition above to what you get on your paycheck. Now to talk about the voluntary deductions. Do you guys? These are deductions that you guys have authorized us to take out of your check. So can you guys give me some ideas of what those might be? Medical.
Dental.
And dental.
401k.
401k.
Child support?
That's not.
That is, well, I forgot about that one, but yes, there is that one too.
They all come out of your check.
It does.
They're all voluntary.
I didn't put that one on there, yes, but you're right, because I forgot that one. Yes. That is another. Oh, yes, we do have Aflac on there too. I didn't put that on the last one. Thank you, Patrick. You should have been at my last meeting. So on the medical, the company contributes a little over $200 per month. So as you look at your check and you look at it, say, you think about where is all of my money going for, there is money that's getting paid that part of where that money is going is to cover this insurance. But if you weren't working for the company, there'd be another $200 each month that you would have to pay that would reduce from that. The dental, the company doesn't contribute anything to that, neither the same as Aflac. But both benefit by being part of our pool, as if you were, as opposed to if you were alone. The 401k, the company will match up to 4%. Ron will go into more detail about that. One of the things about 401k that we have is we have a couple of options. You can do it, you can have the money taken out pre-tax, or you can have it taken out after tax. And it just depends on what your tax liability is on either end, what's going to be the most beneficial for you in the end of how much tax you end up paying overall. And you can have an advisor help you to decide that. We also have some miscellaneous deductions that you may not be aware of. We have the tool buyback program. For employees that start here, there's some positions that they do much better if they have their own set of tools. But when they first start, they might not be able to physically buy the whole set at once. And so what the company will do is they will buy that for them, and then they can take it out over the next, couple of months or so. And that is a benefit that you get. That would be something that would possibly come out of your check. And then also for any unpaid balances that you have when you bought something from the company. Doing that, I really much rather you just pay for it up front because it's really messy for us on the back end, but we have had to do it, and I usually charge a $10 fee for that just because it's kind of messy. But that doesn't happen very often, but we require that you allow us to do that in case you leave and there's still a balance when you take it out of your final check. But those are the basic things that you'll see that will come out of your check. And where all of that money, that $800, how much of that $800 is taken, this is where a lot of it is going to. Plus, on top of that, there is what the company is paying for you. So you may think that you've got well, anyway, so it helps you to understand what your overall cost is to the company. That the $1,000+ per hour includes those extra monies that the company puts into that. The other thing that I wanted you to be aware of on the front end is the paid time off and the paid holidays. Shelly did talk about when we're all gone how much that costs, but that is money that the company pays when we don't produce anything. And it's a benefit to us because we can take some time off without having a huge hit to what we might be bringing home. And that is a benefit that is associated with what we make that sometimes we don't always take into account. So I want to talk to you about, at the end of the day, I'm going to come around and I'm going to distribute what's called a statement of earnings. Our accountant created a statement that shows your earnings for all of last year, including what the company put towards the cost the company had to have you working for us. And so I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit when you see it. If you have any questions, you can set an appointment to talk to me and we can go over those. But first you'll have the gross pay for the year, and that will include, that's the whole $800. It includes your federal tax, your Utah tax, your portion of the FICA, any medical, dental, 401k that you had taken out, that's included in that gross amount. And then it'll have other company costs. So this is what the company pays above and beyond what you pay for. So you've got the unemployment taxes, which includes both the federal and the state. as well as the Social Security taxes and Medicare taxes. That will be all in one amount. And then it will show if you participated in the 401k and the healthcare, what the company contributed to you above what you contributed. So at the end, you'll have a total, give you kind of an idea of what the company paid for you to work here. One thing that's not on there is the workers' compensation. It doesn't have that amount on there, so you can look that it's actually more what the company paid. The reason for that is because workers' compensation doesn't get assessed by payroll like the rest of these do. It's done every year when the policy renews. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's separate there. I think that's everything. I feel like I didn't say as much as the last time. So, like I said, if you have any questions, write them down, and we can kind of answer them after the facts. I'd like Rob to be able to talk about that. What happens is that a lot of times we make assumptions that's based on what we have on our understanding, and sometimes these assumptions can be incorrect. And so our purpose here is to help people have a broader understanding so that they can make their assumptions or can be closer to the truth, because I think that helps a lot with our sanity. It helps me with mine, and when I have a truer understanding, then I can make better decisions. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rob.
Thank you, Lalena.